Back to Sunrise ADS, we're focusing on that and security this morning. We're joined by retired Brigadier General Olusegun Ajana, who is a security consultant. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Well, I do know that at the time that they secured that release, there was, of course, excitement in the air, but there were several other questions about what could this have cost us? Because, I mean, these are terrorists who we all know they've been demanding certain things, and then all of a sudden, the release happened. But ever since that, we haven't gotten your view ever since that release. What did you think? How did you think we just secured that release in the first place?
In the first place, the release of the captives of Boko Haram came as a welcome development to most Nigerians. And of course, at a time when everyone was almost thinking there was no hope of ever getting them. Now, Nigerians' hopes have been triggered, and everybody is expecting that more of the girls will come out. And I think from the way the government has handled it so far, if what they required is all the secrecy and the cooperation of international bodies to be able to get the insurgents to discourse and probably reach some terms and release, of course, everybody will want to support them in that direction. As far as I can see, it is not something anybody can totally predict. What I would say is that the government has started well, and whatever they might have done to secure the first 21 girls released, if there is anything more they can do to ensure that the 180 or more that are still there are released, I think everybody should support them.
But we know at that time, there were those who believed that certain ransom monies were paid to facilitate all of this, but they have consistently denied it. But not just local media, even international media did report that some payment was made, and they say the reason is that lately we've seen an escalation of Boko Haram attacks now, and they just look, connect the dots, because before now the military were routing Boko Haram insurgents almost here and there, but now we're getting a different story.
You see, the issue is that in things of this nature, very risky. There's no doubt that the government means well, but the insurgents also believe that they have a cause and they have to save their face. The people that were procured to midwife whatever agreement that might have occurred leading to the release of the first set of girls, certainly I do not know them per se. We heard names of organizations and probably bodies mentioned, but nobody has been able to pinpoint exactly who did what. And given that situation, it's still very, very dicey. It's an issue where the government has to be consistent in putting their points across, and I think the government has already gone some way in meeting their side of the bargain. Some of the detained insurgents were released, albeit could be the very deadly ones among them that were caught before. So if these ones had gone back into action, but I also believe that we could have done some things to ensure that we prevent them from getting back into action. I don't know. I must be honest in that direction. I'm not too familiar with what could have happened there. But what the newspapers carried was that some of the insurgents were released. And up till now, the government has not told us they paid any money.
Because if you look
There's news in the international media, in the social media, some money was released. How much was released? In what currency it was released? Nobody knows. So, I am a little bit very uncomfortable about it.
We quite share in that. I think many Nigerians share in that feeling with you. But if you look at it, it's even worse for us as a nation and as a people and for families, knowing full well that just when we thought we were getting to the very end of this, we're getting to see that we're losing some of our finest officers. Just recently, a fine officer and gentleman was ambushed with his men, and it's been trending, and many people are still talking about that, saying that, look, it seemed to us that we may have made a mistake by that perhaps agreement reached with Boko Haram, whether it's in release of their men, whether they are the deadliest of them that they have been released, or we have just fueled the armory and arsenal of Boko Haram by giving them money. But in cases like this, as you're left maybe between the devil and deep blue sea, everyone is asking you to bring our children back. Just as you think that it's still very much impossible for you to make some onslaught to rescue these ones. What do you think we're not getting right in all of this? Because it doesn't look good at all. We're still mourning the death of so many officers, more so the ones that just died recently.
Yes, it's something that is very disturbing in the sense that the officers that were killed and soldiers that were killed are probably victims of some of the complexity involved in these negotiations and effort to get certain things done and all the rest of it. Now, in the theater of war, let me be honest with you, you cannot have it all your way. You cannot have it all your way. Nobody would have taken a line of action that will lead to the killing of its own troops. No. One action is taken, and then you have results that come out of that action you have to have taken. You see, if the government had refused to release some money, or should I say, I wouldn't even say the government has released money. I hate to say it, because the government of Nigeria has not said they released money. But whatever arrangement that was done, and probably as a result of that arrangement, some form of resources got to Boko Haram, definitely they will use it. And they cannot use it in the support of Nigeria. They will use it against Nigeria. So, if there are proven indications that whatever might have gotten into their clutches is now being deployed